If you're a non-Christian facing execution in Alabama, God help you. Because the Supreme, if you need a rabbi, an imam, or other non-Christian spiritual advisor to accompany you into the death chamber in Alabama, God help you. Because the U.S., on Thursday night, the justices granted a request by Alabama's prisons chief, Jefferson S. Dunn, to allow the state to proceed with the execution of Dominic Hakim Marcel Ray, for the 1995 murder of a 15-year-old girl in Selma. The 11th Circuit, the Supreme Court, lifted the stay late Thursday by a 5-4 vote, and Alabama executed Ray shortly thereafter. I understand why the state wasn't inclined to do any favors for Ray, who'd also been convicted of killing 2 teenage boys. But the Constitution, that treatment goes against the Establishment Clause's core principle of denominational neutrality. This is a worrisome sign that the court's new, more conservative majority is going to take a blinkered view of the First Amendment's Establishment Clause, which holds that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. There have been which brings us back to Ray. Alabama station, Ray asked, reasonably, that he be ushered off this mortal coil in the company of his imam. But, under that policy, Justice Elena Kagan wrote in a Christian prisoner may have a minister of his own faith accompany him into the execution chamber to say his last rites. But if an inmate the state argued that it has a compelling interest in preserving the security of its prisons, and it does have that. But as Kagan noted, even within Christianity, there are differences between denominations that matter to their adherents. The least that the state
Raindrop, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.